On August 8th, 2017, the BBC reported that a World War II bomb was found in the Bristol Channel near the Hinkley Point nuclear power station. Then 2 days later, on August 10th, 2017, again, the BBC reported that a World War II bomb was found at Fukushima nuclear power plant. Unexploded, of course. So, that led me to do some digging. And the reason why I think this particular rabbit hole is important is because it is well known that the cabal got their foothold in the United States shortly after World War II, particularly after the death of John F. Kennedy. And this particular rabbit hole will unmask some of those members. And this is some of what I found. The Hinkley Point nuclear power station was originally owned by British Energy. On February 3rd, 2009, it was acquired by Electricity of France. And here is that building. The Electricity of France is a French electric utility company, largely owned by the French state. It is headquartered in Paris, and the EDF tower is named the Defense. With 65.2 billion in revenues in 2010, EDF operates a diverse portfolio of 120 plus gigawatts of generation capacity in Europe, South America, North America, Asia, the Middle East, and Africa. Oddly enough, most countries where Electricity de France is, NATO is as well. The United Kingdom, Belgium, France, Germany, Hungary, Italy, the Netherlands, Poland, Slovakia, Spain, Sweden, Switzerland, and of course the United States. All are members of NATO and also have EDF operational in their countries. The North Atlantic Treaty Organization, NATO, and in French it's OTAN. It's also called the North Atlantic Alliance, an intergovernmental military alliance between several North American and European states, based on the North Atlantic Treaty that was signed on the 4th of April 1949, otherwise known as the Cabal. Electricity of France in the United States, 100% EDF Inc., which controls fully or partially Unistar nuclear energy. EDF-RE, formerly Enexco. EDF Trading North America. And Constellation Energy Nuclear Group, through a joint venture with, drumroll please, Exelon. Exelon Corporation is a Fortune 100 energy company headquartered in Chicago, Illinois. It generates revenues of approximately $34.5 billion and employs 34,000 people. Exelon is the largest electric holding company in the United States by revenue, the largest regulated utility in the United States with approximately 10 million customers, and is also the largest operator of nuclear power plants in the United States. Exelon's Political Action Committee is Exelon PAC. The company is positioned to profit from, quote, expensive carbon, end quote, and has been lobbying for cap and trade of carbon dioxide emissions. Former Exelon CEO John Rowe is a vociferous and long-time advocate of climate change legislation. And since the devil is in the details, let's get into those. In 2009, Forbes reported that if the Waxman-Markey climate legislation became law, the present value of Exelon's earnings stream would increase by $14 a share, or 28%. Exelon also disclosed multiple contributions to political nonprofit organizations, the largest of which was $290,000 given to the American Energy Alliance, a 501c4 nonprofit with ties to the conservative billionaire brothers Charles and David Koch, and led by former Koch Industries lobbyist. Guess who is lurking on the board of directors for Exelon? This guy, Tom Ridge. He is an American politician who served as the assistant to the president for Homeland Security from 2001 to 2003, and the first United States Secretary of Homeland Security from 2003 to 2005. And this guy is also the reason why Exelon concerns me. Did you know that in January 2003, the Office of Homeland Security became an official cabinet-level department, and Ridge became the first Secretary of Homeland Security. He served in these roles for Bush's first term as president, then retired and returned to the private sector, which is what we are talking about now. So, since re-entering the private sector, Tom Ridge has served on the boards of the Home Depot, the Hershey Company, and Exelon Corporation, and as a senior advisor to Deloitte and Touche and Tech Radium. Ridge is also the founder and CEO of Ridge Global LLC, which is a Washington, D.C. based security consulting firm. Another interesting little tidbit is that Tom Ridge spent time campaigning with Senator John McCain during his 2008 bid for the presidency, and was believed by some to have been on the short list of potential running mates. Oh.
But the fact is, Governor, that you've had 8 years of a Bush administration and a lot of Republicans in Congress for the last 8 years. So why wouldn't the American people say, look, they had their shot, we're going to change?
Because John McCain is very much his own man, because John McCain brings a different style and a different approach toward Republican leadership, because John McCain has made some promises that I think Americans can feel comfortable about that he will keep.
Tom Ridge supports the Iranian resistance,
national security, military, political, and governmental leaders of my generation. We, as an American delegation, have drafted a statement of commitment to the Iranian people, pledging ourselves to their freedom, and to the mullahs dedicating ourselves to their destruction. We, Democrats and Republicans, liberals and conservatives, military and civilian, have all placed our names on this document. It is an honor to present to you 5 individuals who will read sections of the statement to you. They are in order: the first Secretary of Homeland Security, the former Governor of Pennsylvania, Tom Ridge. The most respected name in American law enforcement, the former Director of the FBI, Director Louis Freeh. Former Governor and Chairman of the Democratic Party of the United States, Governor Ed Rendell. The former Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, a successor to Marshall and Eisenhower and Powell, General Hugh Shelton. Former Assistant to the President of the United States on Homeland Security, the Honorable Francis Townsend. I give you Tom Ridge.
That's probably the best applause I've given. Please, thank you, thank you, thank you. It is a great pleasure for me to join my colleagues. 5 of us will read this policy initiative, but it's more important for you to know that everyone standing with us stands with you, and thousands of Americans not on this platform with us stand with you as well. It's an honor to read this on their behalf. With a very long history of serving the American people and the United States' national interest, we stand together today to call for a new approach in our country's policy towards Iran and the Iranian opposition. The initiative we publicly announced today is an independent initiative motivated by our concerns for United States national security, as well as justice and opportunity for millions of Arab and Persian citizens whose futures are being shaped by current events, and the unending suffering of the Iranian people who have been deprived of their most fundamental rights for over 35 years under the tyrannical regime ruling Iran. We're also deeply concerned about the safety and security of the approximately 2,500 Iranian opposition members trapped, and I say trapped, in Camp Liberty in Iraq, whom our government, through our military, pledged in writing to protect. Their safety, while being processed for onward relocation by the United Nations, remains a moral obligation for the United States of America, arising not only from the written guarantee, but also from the valuable, no invaluable help and intelligence, including critical information about Iran's nuclear program provided by these opposition members. Our country's failure to uphold its solemn promises to these defenseless men and women is inexcusable and is a byproduct of our government's misreading of the Iranian regime's intentions. We are united in our understanding of the true nature of the regime in Iran, a subject about which many of our colleagues in Washington seem uncertain. While we share the goal of seeking an end to Iran's nuclear weapon activities through diplomacy, if such an outcome can be negotiated, we believe it is a mistake for Iran's actions in Syria, Iraq, Yemen, and elsewhere to be overlooked, minimized, excused, or even welcomed. We also believe it will better serve our country's interest to pay closer attention to the human rights and the aspirations of the Iranian people. So all of us on stage and thousands of Americans back home today call for an end to the misguided positions of those in Washington who seek to isolate exclude or otherwise ignore Iran's largest, most established, and best organized political opposition, the National Council of Resistance of Iran, led by Mrs. Maryam Rajavi.
So he and many others also support the People's Mujahideen of Iran.